Hi everyone, Marissa Escobar. I'm not like a regular therapist, I'm a cool therapist, like Regina George's mom. Today's topic, how to start going to therapy. We are embarking on an adventure, dear viewer. I'm going to do a 4 to 5 part, I think, series. And today, the next couple weeks, so first, I'm going to talk about how to find an amazing therapist. Second will be about how to pay for therapy. Third, how to schedule an appointment. Questions to ask your therapist. Most therapists offer a free 15 to 20 minute consultation. So questions you want to ask, what you're looking for, right? That connection. And then fourth is going to be about how to fire your therapist if it's not working out currently, or if you meet with them once and you think, yeah, no, that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And then, I don't know, we'll see what number 5 is. So just a little self-disclosure. I remember when I was 19, I was struggling when I was an undergraduate. And I was crying all the time. I was calling my parents, just really distraught. And my dad told me, maybe you should go talk to someone. When I made the first appointment, I went to the counseling center at my school and I took the first available appointment. Thankfully, it worked out. But looking back, I can see how I really lucked out. Talking with my friends, clients, and other young women, I've heard some stories about really negative experiences with therapists that sometimes led young women to stop and not go for years while their symptoms got worse and worse. What do you expect if your data is 0 out of 1? It's discouraging to go and look for someone else again. So, this is to walk you through to prevent that and really find someone. Really, I'm going to encourage you to find 3 people to reach out to, 3 therapists, to really try and find someone that will meet your needs, right? Meet you where you are and relate to you. So, all right, step 0, really, I'm going to go through 5 steps today, but step 0 is just recognizing, right? You're anxious, you're sad, you're stressed out, you're struggling. You're saying FML fairly often. So that's step 0, is just to recognize and acknowledge, I'm having a hard time. And the first step, really, in finding an amazing therapist is, right, how to find an amazing therapist. Excuse the spacing. First step, what does that say? Take a breath. Okay, you've done all you can. I'm sure you've been reading and talking to your friends and trying to stay motivated. You've made an honorable attempt to fix your problems, and just, take a breath. Step number 2. Okay, despite all your effort, you need to find a professional. Okay. So the Instagram post, reading, talking to your friends, it's not paying off. And your negative patterns, both inside, right, your mind racing, you're having difficulty sleeping on the inside, and then problems on the outside. Maybe you're overeating, feeling overwhelmed, wasting hours on social media. It's starting to eat at your soul. And you need to step up and seek more support than you already have right now. And that's okay. You need a professional. We're trained in all of those things. I'm an expert in all of those things. All right, so third step is to look for a therapist, which is really similar to number 2. So I don't know, but whatever. So we're going to talk about, you can go to your college counseling center if you're still in college. And this is all catered to young women. Okay, I specialize in working with young adults. So young women, young men. So your college counseling center, you can go through your insurance or you can pay out of pocket. So I'm going to talk about those. Okay. Lots of people go through their college counseling center, which is great, but usually they limit the sessions. So you get 8 to 10 sessions, sometimes a semester, or it's really limited for the academic year. And, not many people benefit from checking in every other week. The research on therapy has shown that the consistency of weekly sessions tends to foster the most change, and that's how you can really create a connection and relationship with your therapist, which, beyond consistency, that relationship is the number one reason, evidence, thing that promotes the most change in the client. It's that connection. So again, you can go through your college counseling center, ask for a session with someone there, or they'll most likely have a referral list for therapists in the surrounding areas, and they can provide you that info. Like I'm close to the Claremont colleges, so I'm listed in the counseling center's directory, and that's how clients can find me. Okay, another option is to go through insurance and hope that you will find someone who A, takes your insurance, and B, will meet all your needs. This has not been my experience in my own pursuit of therapy, and I don't take insurance. So my clients, they're not going to find me if that's how they're going. Let me explain. So going through insurance, you might get lucky. I know my former clients, when I did take insurance, they did luck out because I'm a good therapist. But insurance, they limit the frequency of sessions. They have the ability to look at your record, and they require that you have a psychiatric diagnosis placed in your permanent medical record. They also have access to the notes and what your therapist did in the session. And sometimes they will review those. It's called an audit. They'll review the notes and go, no, you know what? Brittany seems to be doing okay, so we're gonna stop paying for therapy. And they don't know what you're actually working on, what you actually went through maybe that week that they decided that. So they really put a lot of restrictions, which is why I don't take insurance, and barriers that clients who do go through that might deal with. Also, it's like getting your hair done, right? You can go to a commercial haircut place and hope for the best, right? The training's there. They have the basics. Or you could go to a stylist if you want ombre, or if you have a certain type of hair that needs special treatment, if you want to get a perm or highlights, right? You want to go to someone who's more specialized to meet your needs. Okay, let's see. Also, there's a saying in Spanish, the cheapest is the most expensive, and that goes for therapy too. So it's really important to invest right now. Invest now. Pay hundreds now, so you don't have to pay thousands later on as the consequence to your self-neglect, right? Your anxiety, your depression slowly taking its toll on you. Then you just have to catch up. So let's be proactive as opposed to reactive. Okay. I don't know what step I'm on. 4, where to look. Most people Google therapist near me, therapist in Claremont, therapist in Los Angeles, therapist in San Francisco, which, is great, but you're going to cast a big wide net. Okay, so also in California, as in most states, therapists are licensed statewide. So if you're open to meeting with someone virtually, you can find an ideal therapist who might have an office hundreds of miles away from you, and they meet your needs. I know my therapist, he's pretty far. And I've worked with other therapists. I'm in the Los Angeles area. I've worked with therapists from San Francisco, and it's been great. So you can really look statewide. Okay, so let's say, you don't want to do therapists near me. You want to cast a wider net. And let's say you're a young woman and you want to work with a woman, or you want to work with a woman of color. You want to address anxiety. How, really thinking about like, what is it that I need? So you can go to, I'm not going to say it, go to Psychology Today. That is the #1 resource for finding a therapist nationwide. Most therapists are on it. Okay. I can't do that thing where I share my screen, but if you want, you can split the screen between this video and Psychology Today. Excuse me, and I'll walk you through it step by step. Okay. So #1, it's going to ask you to type in your city, which is annoying because then you're just going to find therapists near you. But once we're going to go through filters, it'll cast a wider net as in distance. And so therapists who might be hundreds of miles away from you are going to start to pop up as you put up the filters to really narrow your search. So just type in the city, zip, or name of the therapist, and you can even put in a different city if you really don't want someone near you. Okay, so click the search button, and all these therapists are probably going to pop up. Like in California, there's a lot of therapists. It's very saturated, so don't be overwhelmed. I'm going to walk you through it. All right, so really the 5th step after going to Psychology Today is to use the filters. These are all on the left-hand side, okay? So in the filters, you can check off if you want someone who accepts your insurance, which I don't recommend. But you can say, I want someone who accepts my insurance, and you go through and you'll find your insurance on there. So click your insurance, and then the filter will then put out all the therapists who will take that insurance. Okay. So you can click and select insurance if you're open to meeting with a therapist online and they provide online therapy. The type of issue you want to address: anxiety, depression, relationships. The sexuality, and it's not the sexuality of the therapist, but it's who they are friendlier towards, right? Some therapists are, serve queer clients, like solely queer clients, right? So they'll have that marked down. So just know, like, that's something that you can pick. The gender, you can select if it's just women or men or non-binary individuals who will pop up in your search. If you're just looking for a female therapist, you can select the gender. The age, it's not the age of the therapist, okay? It's the age group that they serve. But you can go through the pictures, you'll see young faces like mine and be able to tell, like, oh, okay, she's young, she's cool, great. And you can mark off the language if you want and need to. This also could help you filter out the therapist if they have a certain ethnic background that you prefer to have. Just know, though, there's some Asian American therapists who maybe just speak English. Like, I'm Latina and I am semi-fluent, but I don't mark that I speak Spanish on Psychology Today. So you might, cut some people out who really could serve you. So language, and then you can mark off faith, the type of faith that they possibly cater to, are friendlier to, and the type of therapy, which you don't have to mark off. You don't need to know all these things, but again, this will help shrink your search to find someone ideally who will help you. And then the last filter is the ethnicity served. So all therapists should serve all ethnicities, but it will be checked off perhaps that they specialize in a certain population. So being Latina, I mark that, and, I get clients who really want a woman of color. They like that shared minority experience, and it helps them feel more comfortable. I'm comfortable working with anybody and everybody. And be mindful that there are some therapists who maybe don't have the same background as you, but they might be kick-ass at their jobs. And others who have the same minority background, ethnic background, and you don't mesh with them. Okay, so just pay attention. My first therapist, like I said, he was in his 40s, bald, white guy, and we worked great together. And I didn't know that would happen. Okay, so after all these filters are done, okay, now you're going to have a new refreshed page of therapists, and you can play around and look at their pictures. You can click and read their bios. Sometimes there's a link to their website, so you can go look at their website. Maybe they'll have videos, and you can really get a feel for who you might be sitting across from in the near future. Okay, so go through all those things and really try and sense, like, internally, is there a pull, is there a push, and pay attention to that. Also in their bio, you can see how some take insurance, right? We'll talk about that in a different video. So don't be alarmed if you find someone who looks amazing and they charge a premium fee. Okay, remember, you want to invest hundreds now so you don't have to pay thousands later on with all that stress, anxiety, depression. Okay, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Other places to look, I'm going to put this in the video notes: Therapy Den, Therapy for Black Girls, Latinx Therapy, Open Path Collective, and Good Therapy. Those are all other, similar to Psychology Today. They have profiles and information, videos that therapists post to help the client just visualize and get a sense of what is it like to sit in an office with you for an hour. So in the next video, I will discuss options to pay for therapy, including to pay on your own, out-of-network, insurance, or possibly how to tell your parents you need to go to therapy and you also need their financial support in paying for it. Marissa Esquivel, not like a regular therapist, I'm a cool therapist. Thank you.